Imagine waking up to find out you're replaceable, not just in a metaphorical sense, but quite literally. That's the nightmare Mickey faces in Mickey 17, the latest sci-fi thriller from Joon-ho. But does this high concept story live up to the hype, or does it get lost in the void? Let's get started on my review of Mickey 17. Let's go.
From the town I like nothing, when I'm hopefuls lit. A small city or something, but mostly no one forgets. On the outskirts of where I've been, dreaming since a kid. Thought I was cursed to never see a radio hit. A Grammy to industry or something, even close. Miles outside.
What's going on, all my beautiful people? This is Jacey Flames, and I just got back from watching Mickey 17. Before I do start my review, please note this will be a spoiler-free review, just in case you haven't seen it yet, currently showing in theaters. Also, please make sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell to stay up to date on more new sci-fi thrillers that I'm reviewing just like this. So Mickey 17 stars Robert Pattinson, Naomi Ackie, Toni Collette, Mark Ruffalo, and more. A disposable employee is sent on a human expedition to colonize an ice world. After one iteration dies, a new body is regenerated with most of his memories intact. But problems arise when Mickey is printed and one of them does not die. And that's just a basic synopsis, you guys. I'm not going to give any more spoilers in this review, but let's get started. So this film arrives at a fitting cultural moment, blending bleak sci-fi with some amazing satire. The film follows Mickey Barnes, aka Robert Pattinson, who escapes his morning debts on Earth by signing up to be an expendable on a space colonizing mission. His job, of course, is to take on dangerous, often fatal tasks, only to be regenerated from a 3D printer over and over and over again. When Mickey 17 is presumed dead after a dangerous mission, another one is printed, and you got a plot. Now, this sets off a tense and absurd struggle for survival, with both versions of Mickey trying to outmaneuver the colony's authoritarian leader, aka Kenneth Marshall, played by Mark Ruffalo, and his cult-like followers. Now, going into this movie, I also had no idea that this movie was based on a book titled Mickey 7 by Edward Ashton, and it takes liberties with its source material, prioritizing sharp social critique over deep existential musings. While it glosses over some of the book's more philosophical themes, the adaptation still manages to deliver a thrilling and thought-provoking narrative. Now let's talk about Joon-ho, who is the director of Mickey 17, and I talked about this briefly on one of my TikToks that I made, and I made a small little review over it. By the way, go and follow me on TikTok if you have not, please. But he is not only known for seamlessly blending tones, but he's also known for putting a lot of satire and a lot of societal issues in his movies. And Mickey 17, of course, is no exception. While the film lacks the emotional extremes of Parasite or Okja, it delivers a roller coaster of action and world building, even as the film's dystopian setting unfolds with an almost casual indifference to human suffering. The visuals are striking, from the eerie alien landscapes to the sterile corporate environments aboard the colony's base, which is where we see Mickey for most of the movie. The film's ability, though, to balance absurdity with genuine tension makes it a compelling watch, even if its deeper messages take a back seat at times. Now let's get into the comedy and satire, because after all, this is technically a sci-fi comedy satire. Mickey 17 leans heavily into dark comedy, using its absurd premise to critique corporate exploitation, political authoritarianism, and the devaluation of human life. The film's central antagonist, Kenneth Marshall, embodies a chilling mix of a religious type of leader and corporate greed, presenting a thinly veiled allegory for real-world political figures. His supporters follow him by pretty much any means, and they all sport red hats with propaganda slogans all over them. So you can kind of see some of the similarities in today's culture and the political climate. And this touches not only on blind nationalism, but it really speaks to where we're at in today's world. The humor is often bleak, with much of it derived from the sheer absurdity of Mickey's predicament. Scenes of his repeated deaths, some gruesome, others almost slapstick, serve as both comedic set pieces and grim reminders of how he can be dispensable at any moment. The interplay between Mickey 17 and Mickey 18 adds another layer of dark humor, as their different personalities create moments of both hilarity and tension. So one of the things that I thought about as the plot started to unfold is how am I going to be able to tell the difference between Mickey 17 and Mickey 18? And within that, you do have personality differences. Mickey 17 is one of those gullible, innocent type of expendables, whereas Mickey 18 is a little more harsh, a little more dark and brooding. It kind of gives us a glimpse of Batman in certain tonal instances, especially when he's trying to talk to Mickey 17. And Robert Pattinson definitely shows that in a couple of moments. Now, let's get into the acting, you guys. Robert Pattinson delivers a standout performance for sure. Pattinson's ability to shift between these personas adds depth to the film's central conflict. Now, when it comes to Mark Ruffalo, his portrayal of Kenneth Marshall is both cartoonish and terrifying, capturing the essence of a power-hungry leader who weaponizes ideology for control. Toni Collette plays his status-obsessed wife, and she brings an unsettling mix of charm and menace to her role. Steven Yeun and Naomi Ackie round out the supporting cast with strong performances, adding both humor and emotional weight to the film. One thing I will say, you guys, is that when I was watching the first 2 acts of this movie, I thought, I really don't know where this film is gonna go. There was a halfway point when Mickey 17 finds out about Mickey 18 and things start to kind of get a little messy. I thought, where is this film going? I have no idea what's going to happen or what's going to happen to these characters, what their motivations are anymore. It's kind of getting like unpredictable, but in a good way. It had me very interested. But as the film started to proceed, I started to love it even more, and even towards the end when everything ties up really nice and neatly. The only thing I will say is that there is a side character who I didn't even mention, who you kind of don't know where she's going to go or how she's going to play into this. And at the end, it kind of does give an end to her character, and it doesn't play too much into the plot. She's more used as a plot device in one of the scenes at the halfway point. And at the end, I will say there is kind of a vision or something involved that Mickey does have, which does explain how he's thinking and how things are going to end, but I kind of didn't need that vision. But other than that, I will say, you guys, I had a great time with this. Mickey 17 is a bold, darkly comedic sci-fi film that delivers sharp satire alongside its thrilling premise. While it may not delve as deeply into philosophical questions as its source material, it offers a compelling critique of power, exploitation, and identity. Bong Joon-ho's signature storytelling style ensures that even its bleakest moments are laced with humor, making for a uniquely entertaining, if occasionally unsettling, cinematic experience. With all that being said, you guys, I'm gonna give Mickey 17 4.5 flames out of 5 and a super fire film rating.
It's fantastic.
This movie was not only vastly different, but damn near close to perfect. And I have to say, this has to be my favorite film of the year so far. I know we're just in March, but this film was amazing and I cannot wait to see it again. Bong Joon-ho gives us an entertaining film that challenges both thinkers and dreamers. Making his films a uniquely mind-bending experience, Mickey 17 is no exception, delivering a spectacle that is as thought-provoking as it is darkly hilarious. With Robert Pattinson giving one of his best performances to date, this sci-fi black comedy lingers long after the credits roll. Beneath its offbeat humor, Bong weaves a sharp metaphor for society's treatment of migrant workers viewed as anonymous, easily replaceable, and endlessly available, packaging a biting critique within a cleverly crafted, absurd sci-fi adventure. To me, it felt like this was an honest critique of how people in the corporate world talk down or even look at some of the workers who just have a job that they're supposed to do. And even if it can be a little dark at times or it can be a very difficult job, a lot of times the leaders, even ones who have climbed the ladder, look down at a lot of these workers. And that's definitely what I got out of this movie. And I loved it so much for not only its unique premise and unique storytelling, but even some of the dark comedic moments and the acting for sure. I mean, Pattinson kept me glued to the screen, and every time I even saw some of the supporting cast like Ruffalo and Toni Collette, I was like, man, this film is great. It's one of those movies you go into and you're thinking, I don't know what I'm gonna get, but I'm hoping it's good. It does not disappoint. So I highly recommend you guys go out and see this movie. So have you seen Mickey 17 yet, or are you looking forward to seeing it? Which Bong Ho movie is your favorite of his? Mine still has to be Parasite, just by a slim margin, okay? But Mickey 17 is up there for me. But let me know in the comments below. Last thing before I do go, you guys, please make sure you hit that like, hit the subscribe, hit that notification bell to stay up to date. My name is Jacey Flames, and until next time, I'm out.